What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I am Jay, and this is Jay's Life Out Loud, a channel about nothing, but it's about something. Just checking the camera, y'all. Make sure it's recording. My other phone is acting up, so I had to go back to the old phone. So what's on my mind today is about just reflection. Uh, Pray that this message speaks nothing but from the heart and touches anybody that hears it. Uh, for a minute, I've been wanting to go to Africa. So when I say a minute, I mean some years now. Didn't realize how long I had been wanting to go. And to a friend I hadn't talked to in years reminded me that they remembered me talking about it a long time ago. So in my mind, I'm thinking it was like 3 years ago. But obviously it was like 4 and 5, maybe 6 years ago. I've traveled to several places before I went to Africa. Traveled to several places before my mind even got keyed in on Africa. Um, there's a YouTube family called the Bag Family, and it was a family I started watching some years ago, and I don't know how long, but that really amped me up to go see Africa. After watching their channel, I went on to start finding other YouTubers in the Gambia, Tanzania, Ghana, um, all over Africa. Some I still follow, some are not, putting out videos anymore. But it gave me the chance to see another part of Africa, and it gave me a chance to see what here in America they're not teaching us or showing us. Mostly they show the bad, or the babies with the big stomachs with a lot of flies. So finally, I get on that plane with my wife, and we make that trip. And I think in my mind, I had put so many, I had fantasized Africa. I had put so many thoughts on how it would be and how welcoming it would be. I also put thoughts on YouTubers that I connected with, not understanding sometimes that YouTube can be a one-way street. Um, I heard a famous black, I guess you can call him a reporter, comedian, newscaster. He said he was sitting down to dinner with his brother and cousin, I believe it was, and a fan came over and interrupted them while they were eating and talking. And after the fan left, he told his brother, "What is wrong with people? You interrupt my privacy. You see me eating. Why would you think that was okay?" And the brother told him that it's not the fan that has a problem, it's you. He said, "Why would you say that?" He said, "Because the fan is connected to you. They watch you. They believe they know you. They supported you. Um, they take time out to basically make you who you are by watching and supporting you. So they have a relationship. They know you, or they feel like they know you. You just don't know them." And he said it hit him different to think about it that way, because he had never thought about it that way. And I think that is the relationship a lot of us, because as me being a YouTuber, that does not mean there are not people that I watch and look up to, and uh, I feel they have accomplished something that I am have yet to accomplish. And one day I pray that I will, as far as making it to the continent. There's other YouTubers that travel the world and they're able to do that for a living. Uh, Me and my wife would love to do that as a couple. So when I say that about YouTubers, when I got to Tanzania, I was hoping to meet some YouTubers that I watch, connect with them, and just maybe take a picture and go on about my business. And that would have made my day or the trip. And I said I would take a minute after I got back to, speak on a trip that has been a journey I've been wanting to go on for a long time. So, what I will say is that stepping off that plane into the continent was it was unreal. And if you think about it, it took us 23 to 30 hours, something in there, to get to from Detroit to Africa. And now that I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, how long would that trip have been on a ship, leaving your family, leaving everything you knew, going to a place that you don't know where you're going, let alone going to a strange place and being treated like shit. Uh, I couldn't even imagine what my ancestors went through, even though the documents are there, the pictures and videos. Excuse me. Still can't imagine what they went through. We land on the continent of Africa, and I just knew I was gonna start crying. I had told my wife, be prepared for it, and it didn't happen. I think it was so much that I was taking in going there that it took, I say, 2 to 3 days just to realize that, for it to sink in, you are in Africa. Um, Being at the airport was still not hitting. It wasn't, I knew I was in Tanzania, but I was at the airport. So once we were picked up and driven around by some beautiful people that we met, and I got to really looking like, it's one thing. It's almost like you've been watching a movie, a series, and you've been watching this series for 2, 3 years or longer, and then all of a sudden, you're an actor in the series. And when you get on set, everything will seem surreal, and you'll look around and you can't believe, like, I'm actually on set. This is real. All the people that you watch, the extras just walking around, everything is real, but it's just real life, not just a movie set. And that's what it felt like. I'm looking around like, yeah, I've seen the motorcycles riding by, and I've seen the Pajajis, and I've seen the traffic, and I've seen the people walking in the middle of the street selling stuff. I've seen the women walking with things on their head, not even holding it, just walking with things on their head. I've seen the red dirt. I've seen the dirt roads. I've seen them repair the big roads that are bumpy and tore up from rainy season. But I had only seen it on TV, on YouTube. So to be put feet on the ground, eye to eye with all these things, it was a lot to take in. So within the first 2, 3 days, the question is already sitting in, like, could you really do this? Could you live here? And coming, it wasn't all kumbaya. A lot of things that were told to me were, that happened, they were expected. How they say when you come out the airport and people start coming up to you, do you need a ride, blah, blah, blah. That happened a lot. So it was expected. And I learned that from watching. So that was something that I knew how to handle. A lot of times you handle that in the States. It's just different things. You may leave out of somewhere and there's a whole bunch of people begging or whatever. And I'm not saying they were begging. They just out there trying to make money like everybody else. I'm just saying. But it's just a parallel. So, I had to really think while I was there. It was a lot going on in my head. Co-worker of mine, Charlie, had left a message up on one of my videos that I think I put it on Facebook or something. He was just like, just enjoy it. Stop thinking so much. But I couldn't turn my brain off. A lot of times when we go out of town, even if we do something like a little vacation where we stay local and just get a room for the night to get away, my wife would be in the bed early in the morning and I'll go down and I'll have breakfast. So that happened in Africa a couple of mornings out of the 2 weeks we were there. And I people watch and I think, and I did a lot of that while I was there. And man, it really hit me. Like, can you, would you, could you survive here? As much as we would like Africa to have an open, a welcoming committee to welcome you back, to everybody that sees you to be like, welcome home, brother. You've been gone too long. All that, in your mind, the corny stuff that kicks out. But it ain't like that. It's just like you traveling anywhere else, but you home. But the feeling is like when you travel anywhere else, if you go to Florida, if you go to Miami, if you go to on a cruise ship or whatever, nobody knows you. And usually the people that are in hospitality or customer service, those are the ones that will greet you, you know. And but it was, you know, one or two brothers that let me know, welcome home. But other than that, it's like going anywhere else. Except for when it's your dream trip, it hits a lot different. So the question is, could I live there? And I would say yes. It would be have to be certain circumstances. And for a minute, when I was in Africa, and uh, we had some testy moments. I would say when we went to the second hotel to check it out, and the lady was saying, "Oh, you didn't have a reservations," and we went through all that. That kind of hit me a little different. Uh, Being called uh, Mzungu on the way to Zanzibar, taking a ferry, that was something different. And in my mind, it's like, no, I'd rather stay back in the U.S. You know, we got a big crib, we got cars, we good, ain't you know. But it was all a part of the journey. And I got home. Well, there being there, you know, in some ways, I say, well, I may stop watching a lot of the YouTubers that I watch. You know, due to me feeling some type of way, not only about the trip, but also about, uh, having high expectations of people that don't know me. And I believe a lot of times when people are in a certain situation, a lot of times money is more important. Or money is people out here trying to hustle, they trying to live, they trying to provide for their family, make a way for themselves. And it is hard to sympathize with somebody. Oh, I'm in town, da da da. Sometimes you can go in town and your family won't even meet up with you, let alone some people you don't know. But coming back, it opened to my eyes a lot of times. If you don't have anything of value that person can get out of you, what do they need to see you for? You know, I see most times that YouTubers anywhere interview somebody is when they think it's going to be a good interview, or it's going to get them some, a good interview leads to good ratings. And not only that, the fact that I believe some YouTubers sugarcoat Africa and don't get it real and let you know, oh, it's going to be something different when you land on that plane and you step out. The good and the bad, like anywhere else. And it was all part of the journey. If I had to do it all over again, would I go and take the same trip? Hell yeah. And since I left Tanzania, I haven't been able to get Tanzania, Africa, off my mind. When you walk the streets in Tanzania and people are, got their outside booths and they're cooking, and they use a certain type of charcoal, and it's like a sweet smell that's in the air. You can smell it. Sometimes I smell that smell. Sometimes I can be in a certain area and it just kind of remind me of somewhere in Tanzania we drove by. I also think how I love being by the water and how the water is right there. I mean, it's never too far away. I talked to my wife about it. I said, could you see yourself living there? She was like, no. It would have to be a certain situation. Some things would have to change. I've heard some people say Africa don't owe you nothing. Just talking about people coming back to Africa. And I believe it does. That's where we come from. But, Africa doesn't make the laws. Men do. Uh, African only be Africa. Something that God created. So, I think the most that the country can give to you and be grateful for is to enjoy it if you live there, or if you're on vacation. See as much of it as you can while you're there and enjoy it as much as you can. And I could have walked to that water a million times and still not been tired of going to the water. The palm trees, watching the people hustle and move. And I know it's one thing to live somewhere and versus vacation somewhere, but I could do it under the certain, right situations, and that's just having that money. Because if you're gonna be in Africa, you either have to have money coming in from America, most definitely, or you have to make you a plan up 3 year, 4 year, however you doing it. Work from America, buy your land or buy your house. You buy your land, you got to buy that land, build on it, build your house, your borehole, whatever you're gonna do. Get everything set before you go over there, and then have your money saved. And then go with discipline. You would have to go on a budget. You may have to budget for year, for the month, for the week, for the day, to know, hey, this is what I got. If I want this to last, if I want to be here for the rest of my life, this is what I have to do. You can live like a local and eat lunch, breakfast, and dinner for under $5 a day. I would say $5 to $10 a day. Under that, American. You can grocery shop, plan your meals out, maybe go out once a month, twice a month. Depending on how you plan on budgeting and how much you got saved. And I'm just speaking on if you don't have money coming in monthly. Um, but it can be done. I'm watching YouTubers all over the world that's doing it every day. My hope is to grow my channel where I'm able to make money off the channel, maybe get into some jobs that I can work uh, from the internet. But I definitely want to I want to travel more, see more of Africa, and decide on where I want to move in Africa. I think Ghana is my next trip. Um, I want to lay down roots somewhere. So when the time comes, it'll be easier for me to make the transition from America to there. Do I advise all black people to go to Africa? Yeah. Go to Africa, visit. Go to different countries, visit. But Africa ain't for every black person. And every black person don't need to be in Africa. A lot of people need to stay right where they at, depending on what type of attitude you're taking with you. Would I travel back to Tanzania? In a heartbeat. We went for 2 weeks this time. I would like to go to Ghana for maybe a month. Really embrace myself. Try not to be in the hotel laying around and chilling, which is nothing wrong with that, but really embrace myself, hit the ground, and really get out there and see what's the land is here, and this and that, and make some connections like I did in Tanzania, but even, triple times that. Can't get my mind off Africa. And I've said it before in other videos, your journey is not everybody else's journey. So not everybody is going to understand. Not everybody is going to get it. Trying to find the right light, y'all. People will look at you crazy. Like, why would you want to go to Africa? That's crazy. What you gonna do when you get there? This, and that. It's your journey, not theirs. So they not gonna understand. And that's cool. married. That's not an easy thing, because if your wife wants something different and you want this and you want that, y'all got to find some type of medium, you know. So time will tell what the Lord has in store, but it's all part of the journey. Try to find me some I'm gonna sell a tea on the internet. Amazon didn't taste the same, so I see I'm gonna have to learn how to make it from scratch. I know I don't want to work myself to death, and I don't want to work. You know, Social Security is not guaranteed, but I'm trying to find a way. I'm trying to think outside the box and come up with a different way to make it to Africa, to succeed, to do, to be able to make it without doing that everyday 9 to 5 grind. It's got to be a way. You know, I wish everything was kumbaya and every black person, every African American, every African, everybody worked together for the benefit of the race. And you have some out there that do it, and I congratulate them. Hats off to them. But everybody's on a, most of all, most people, most everybody's on their own journey, and they're doing it by themselves. For those that are trying to make it to the continent or trying to find a way, if you find a way to keep that money coming in, because like I say, you let me know. Because either you going to pre-bill before you get there and get everything straight, or you going to come over there with some type of pension or something that you're getting paid every month, or you going to have to work a job that you can work, just, have the internet and computer and be able to do it anywhere, or you're going to have to be able to come up with a product or a service that you can sell while you over in Africa to repats, or something that you can sell by the thousands or 2 thousands or millions of to the locals that they can afford, that will sell enough where you can make money off of it, be able to prosper. Still trying to find a way. I would love to do business with different people in different countries of Africa. I'm not a rich man. I'm not a millionaire. I go to work every day, like most Americans, and you try to make ends meet and enjoy life, and that's what I'm doing. But whatever I can invest, if it'll make more money, and it sounds right and it makes sense, you know, if I got to work overtime to make it happen, so be it. But one thing that I promised myself is that once I make it, if I can help somebody else, I'm gonna help somebody else. After I'm done helping them, I'm gonna help somebody else. And it's not gonna be about how much money can I make off this person. It's not gonna be about, oh, they don't have this, that. What can they do for me? It's gonna be about your blessings come from helping others. Your blessings come from giving. I was talking to the kids about at church. They used to have this thing where they would wash each other's feet, and they was like, "Ugh, washing somebody's feet. What's the purpose of that?" And I was like trying to explain service to them. sacrifice, service, and just being able to do something for somebody, not expecting nothing in return, knowing that your blessings come from God. Being kind hearted because it's just on your heart, just knowing I want to do something for somebody else without expecting nothing in return. Just that feeling to know I did something today, and today my life was worth it because I was able to help somebody else. I was able to make somebody else's life easier or add substance to their life or even just make a person smile. I don't care if you're in line at a fast food place and you just pay for the order behind you. I don't care if somebody's walking and you see them with carrying a heavy load and you just open the door for them, regardless if they say thank you or not, which you should say thank you because that kind of irritates you. But man, this is a journey in life. We have to make it easier for each other. All the backbiting, the talking about each other, the just hatred and all the negative things that can come with life. It's enough of that going on. We could use some positive, really, some positivity. Well, I've been talking y'all ear off. I love y'all. Hope everybody is doing blessed. And if you are of melanated persuasion, at least take you one trip back to the motherland. I promise you, it'll be an eye opener. It definitely will be an eye opener. You will enjoy yourself and you'll see that it's not what they told you. Peace.